In 1929, a forgotten map resurfaced in the Topkapi Palace of Istanbul, drawn in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral Piri Reis. It sparked confusion, then controversy, then silence. Because this wasn't just any map, it showed Antarctica, but not the frozen landmass we know today. This version was ice-free, with visible rivers, mountains, and detailed coastlines that had not yet been explored. Modern science tells us Antarctica has been covered in ice for thousands of years. So how could a 500-year-old map depict it so clearly? And Piri Reis himself confessed. He hadn't drawn it from scratch. He compiled it from even older maps. Sources, he said, that dated back to antiquity. This is not an isolated anomaly. Across time, other maps have surfaced, showing lands that should have been unknown, and coastlines no sailor of their era could have seen. Who made these originals? And more importantly, what civilization knew the world long before we did? The Piri Reis map, discovered on a gazelle skin parchment in 1929, instantly captured the attention of historians and geographers. Created by Piri Reis, an Ottoman admiral, navigator, and esteemed cartographer, the map was signed and dated to the year 1513. It detailed parts of the known world with surprising accuracy: the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and the northern edge of Antarctica. But Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, over 300 years later. Even more puzzling, the map didn't just show the icy continent. It depicted the coastline of Queen Maud Land as it exists beneath the ice. In other words, it showed what modern scientists would only uncover with 20th century seismic surveys. The inscriptions on the map give us a clue. Piri Reis wrote that he compiled his work using 20 charts and mappe mundi from ancient sources, some dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. He mentioned ancient kings who had sent ships across the seas and recorded their findings. So, the admiral wasn't making wild guesses. He was copying from materials that had survived the collapse of forgotten civilizations. Scholars have debated how Piri Reis accessed such sources. Some speculate they may have come through Islamic libraries that preserve Greco-Roman and even older records after the fall of Constantinople. The accuracy in latitude is another anomaly. While 16th century Europe lacked precise navigational tools for longitudinal measurement, the map accurately places South America's eastern edge in relation to Africa. This would suggest advanced geographical knowledge predating Renaissance science. The Piri Reis map isn't the only artifact that defies conventional history. The Orontius Phineas map, published in 1531, clearly shows the Antarctic continent, including internal river systems and topographical features. Like the Piri Reis map, it portrays Antarctica free of ice, a condition scientists believe hasn't existed for at least 6,000 years. The Bloch map, drafted in 1737 by French geographer Philippe Bloch, adds yet another layer of mystery. It displays Antarctica as two distinct landmasses separated by a central waterway. Remarkably, modern ground-penetrating radar has revealed that Antarctica's landmass is indeed divided beneath the ice. Other curious examples include the Zeno map, 1380, which accurately portrays parts of Greenland and Iceland, and the Ibn Ben-Zar map, 1487, which reportedly contains references to lands beyond the Atlantic long before Columbus. These maps suggest a once cohesive global cartographic tradition, one now lost, whose source predates the age of European exploration. But who created this legacy? And where are the originals now? Some believe fragments of these documents survived through secret custodians, ancient societies, monastic orders, or maritime guilds that safeguard forgotten knowledge across generations. The idea that early modern mapmakers could depict an ice-free Antarctica with such accuracy poses an overwhelming question. How could they know? Antarctica's last ice-free condition is believed to have ended over 6,000 years ago. Yet seismic surveys in the mid-20th century revealed that the features shown on these early maps closely matched the subglacial topography beneath today's ice sheets. Charles Hapgood, a 20th century historian, proposed a theory of crustal displacement, that the entire outer shell of the Earth shifted during a cataclysmic event, moving Antarctica from a more temperate climate into its current polar position. He published his ideas in Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings, a book that Albert Einstein himself endorsed and forward. Hapgood believed that an advanced civilization, perhaps one destroyed by that cataclysm, had mapped the world with a level of precision that rivaled or exceeded our own until the modern era. This civilization, he argued, may have possessed seafaring vessels, astronomical knowledge, and advanced surveying tools long before the rise of known empires. Some theorists go further, suggesting the existence of a global maritime culture capable of transoceanic navigation during the last ice age, possibly the source of legends like Atlantis, Lemuria, or Mu. If any part of this is true, then history isn't linear, it's layered. And at the bottom of that buried layer, a forgotten intelligence may be waiting to be acknowledged. Despite compelling patterns, mainstream academia remains largely dismissive. Traditional archaeologists argue that these early maps are misread, and their apparent accuracies are due to guesswork, chance, or exaggerated interpretation. Yet, official skepticism hasn't stopped military and intelligence communities from taking them seriously. In the 1960s, the U.S. Air Force and Navy cartographers examined the Piri Reis map and acknowledged its impressive accuracy. Declassified documents indicate the Pentagon even considered Hapgood's theories when planning polar expeditions. And then there's the matter of lost archives, the destruction of the Library of Alexandria, the looting of Constantinople, and the suppression of indigenous codices in the Americas. Each event erased centuries of cultural memory. What if the true extent of our ancient knowledge lies in what's missing, not what's preserved? Throughout history, institutions have shaped the timeline of civilization. Early Egyptologists dismissed local oral traditions. European colonizers rewrote the myths of the Americas. Entire timelines have been adjusted to fit political or religious frameworks. So perhaps the resistance to these ancient maps isn't rooted in evidence, but in fear. Fear of rewriting textbooks. Fear of admitting that ancient man may have seen farther than we thought possible. What if these maps are more than forgotten charts? What if they are messages, silent witnesses to a past erased by cataclysm, conquest, and time? If Antarctica was once mapped without ice, then who stood on those shores? Who drew the rivers and traced the mountains beneath a sky our ancestors knew, yet we've long forgotten? The Piri Reis map and its companions may be fragments of a lost library, a shattered worldview left by a civilization more advanced than we've ever imagined. And if one of their maps survived the fire, what else is still out there, hidden in plain sight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're drawn to mysteries that lie beneath the official story, subscribe, like, and join us on the next journey into forgotten past.